you 5 reasons why women should run. And then when I'm done, because I didn't do like a PowerPoint or anything like that, if anybody wants this presentation, they can have it. There are going to be some numbers, and it is 8:30 in the morning, so I hope you've had your coffee. But like I said, you can email me and get this later. Number 1, women bring a unique perspective that can benefit us all politically. The halls of Congress, the school boards, city councils, governor's office, all can benefit from a woman's perspective. We certainly don't need to make the case in this day and age that women can serve both in a career, politically, and run their households. But the majority of elected officials still remains to be men. However, even in the beginning of our country, before women had the vote, they played an important role. Abigail Adams, John Adams' wife, was said to be his closest advisor. There was a time when society saw many roadblocks to women becoming candidates, but that's changed. Those recruiting looked past many women because they thought a family and a political career couldn't mesh. Yet, women manage career and family. Today, women with young families typically receive more support from their spouses. They can depend on additional families to step in. In the professional world, women are raising children and handling high-powered careers. So why not a political career? There are many examples of women with families who have political careers. I hail from Washington State, as Heidi said. In the Spokane, Washington area, we have Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers. She has served since 2005. She's also given birth to 3 of her children during the time that she served. One of those children has Down syndrome. Governor Kristi Noem tells a story of serving and keeping the family together. As a representative, she was determined to spend time with her children on the weekends. So her husband brought the kids to the office, and there they camped. She said they have fond memories of these times. They've also made sacrifices in their family for her political career. When she's home on weekends, then they are together as a family, even if there is a soccer game or a birthday party to attend. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is raising young children and pursuing the governorship of Arkansas. And what about single women who have raised their families? They can too run for office. We need a woman's perspective in political offices. More women are voting, and they are voting for women. Statistics show the increase in interest for women running for office. Now is the time to step up. Across the nation, there's momentum building to recruit women. PACs for women, such as Maggie's List or the Susan B. Anthony, help support them financially. Our organization has always promoted women candidates, even before many others. Our main purpose is to empower women politically, to provide the training and the tools they need to run. Our focus is on leadership. Number 2, statistically, and this is exciting news, it's a time for Republican women to win elections. Republican women, as you know, had an amazing year in 2020. 19 non-incumbent women won their races. 10 incumbent women beat the Democrat men. That's how much we don't like the Democrats. In 2020, your own Julia Letlow won her special election. In 2020, it was the first time ever that we had so many Republican women in the House. The first time ever. And it's looking even better in 2022. You haven't seen anything yet. Republican women have jumped in to run in every race from coroner to the courthouse to Congress. NFRW is tracking the Republican women that are running. For example, in North Carolina, we have 166 members of the Republican Party that have stepped up to run this year. I met some fantastic women right here last night that are running for office. I also met some fantastic Republican women that should consider running for office. With the June 7th election of Connie Conway in California, who incidentally is a member of the Tulare County Republican Women, and Myra Flores of Texas, who is also a member of the Cameron County Republican Women, we have set new records for women in Congress. In the House, more than 300 Republican women have filed. We have 33 women in the House now. That's our Republican women. And 31 running for re-election. Many more Republican women are looking to ride the red wave in 2022. Connie Conway was elected to a seat that was redistricted. Myra is running in a new district, and incidentally, you probably know, in her district, it was a Democrat district, and she was running against a Democrat, and she won. Vicki Hartzler of Missouri is running for a Senate seat. Katie Britt of Alabama won her nomination. 69 Republican women are running for open seats. Significantly, and probably a first, is that more women are running as challengers, 163, eliminating the long-standing gender gap. Dave Rexroad is the executive director of the Republican Governors Association. He predicted that 1/3 of all GOP governor candidates would be women. We've got some strong incumbents in women running for governor. Kristi Noem, of course, of South Dakota. Kay Ivey of Alabama, and Kim Reynolds of Iowa. Open seats are Sarah Huckabee Sanders in Arkansas and Christine Drazen in Oregon. And in Wisconsin, Rebecca Kleefisch is still awaiting a primary. In states that have primaries so far, 784 Republican women were on the ballot for state Senate and House, not including the nonpartisan races. And of 638 Republican women who have filed for state House seats in states that have held their primaries, Dave Rexroad says we see close to a 72% success rate. Of 146 women who have filed for state Senate seats, there is a 65% success rate. Women should run because statistically, it's a great time to run. Number 3, women should run because women are passionate about certain issues and they bring an important perspective. Schools are ground zero, and school boards are where the war is being waged. The biggest factors are women are very successful today when they run. COVID, school closures, mask mandates, and critical race theory, all of these issues combine to bring Mama Bear out big time to protect her cubs. NFRW has made the Parents' Bill of Rights a priority issue in 2022. All this enthusiasm translates into candidates, translating into votes, record GOP turnout, and translating into volunteers. It is a perfect time for women in politics. Number 4, women should run, especially those mama bears. They are motivated to truly make a difference for the sake of their children. And I'm not saying the fathers don't. It's just a different perspective. When all this stuff was happening in the school board, my son was there for his children, standing before the school board, making his case about issues. But we need more women on our school boards. That kind of motivation leads to a dedicated candidate and an elected official. Last year in my hometown, there were several mama bears that stepped up to run for school board, and they won. They were not seasoned candidates. They were not big campaigners, but they were so determined for their children. I remember one of the candidates, she began her campaign and she was very nervous about speaking. So nervous that when she would speak, she was shaking at the beginning of the campaign. She was soft-spoken, but she worked on speaking up. And it was amazing to see the transformation. Sure, she's never going to be that boisterous speaker, but she would end up speaking confidently. And she would win against a long-time school board member who was a popular businessman in the community. She won because of her determination to improve as a candidate, her dedication to strongly campaigning, her desire to change the school for the sake of her children, her conservative values, and the fact that she would not continue the status quo of the current school board member. Republican Mama Bears are great candidates, and they should run because they will be extremely dedicated. Just as we see more success for Republican women who run, we also see more women turning to the largest Republican women's grassroots organization nationwide, just as Heidi said today. So number 5, Republican women have a strong support with the National Federation of Republican Women through their local clubs, their states, and national. In 2021, the National Federation saw its fastest growth in many, many years. And we ended the year with over 65,000 members. This year, as Heidi said, we've already chartered 48 new clubs. What really makes a difference is the number of new members. We're at 83% of our membership already, and we're only halfway through the year. I know we are going to surpass our numbers from last year. Membership is up in almost every state federation. The Louisiana ladies are up 82% from last year, and it's only halfway through the year. These motivated ladies have contributed almost 96,000 campaign hours. The independent sector with the Do Good Institute put a national value of $29.95, I don't know why they didn't make it 30, it's hard to multiply, per volunteer hour. So what that works out to in Louisiana alone is a value of $2.8 million of volunteer campaign hours that these ladies have contributed. Nationally, the Republican women contributed 8.2 million hours. That works out to 245 million. Not only are we surpassing membership, but our donor contributions are up, which is very important because we need those donor contributions to support the training and leadership that we provide. We have a program called the Capital Regions. We also have a program called the Regions. These are our top donors. We also have a corporate donor committee that is working to produce some corporate dollars to help with education and training. We have 13 capital regions this year and 84 regions, and we have tripled those numbers as well. So, women who have been involved as Republican women should run. Republican women belong to an organization that provides the opportunities for them to be empowered politically. Why not use this training as a candidate? Last night, I was introduced to some powerhouse Republican women. I met one woman, and I don't see her here tonight, so if I'm calling her out, that's okay. But she was commenting on another lady that should be running for office. And when I said, "What about you?" She said, no. And I don't know what the story was behind that. Maybe there's some, but it was just an interesting way to answer. Don't be so quick to say no. Think about it. Think about whether it's the right time for you to run or not. And don't make that answer about being the right time because it's not convenient for you. Really think about it. Don't rule out the possibility. We definitely need many more Republican women to run, especially against the Democrat women and men. I was watching the news last night, and there are no words. There are no words. But our Republican women, like my husband says, he loves to come to these things because he says they're intelligent, they're beautiful, they're conservative. But the Democrat women, sorry. I mean, the ones that are up there on the hill now, like Pelosi, come on, ladies, we've got to do all we can to replace that. Yes. We cannot have that. So when we saw the possibility of this red wave coming with everything, we decided many, many months ago to start planning. In January, we held an online candidate recruitment seminar with over 900 registrants and 650 attendees. We followed that up with a 10-week campaign school. And we've been talking the red wave, and it's just not a thing. First, it was candidate recruitment and campaign school. Second, encouraging women to run. Third, building our volunteer force with more members. And now we're developing the plan to organize volunteers to get out the vote. And we are gonna get that vote out. We are targeting, working with the RNC. We'll be spotlighting our candidates. We'll be using those phone apps. And locally and statewide, ladies are going to be out there doorbelling and doing all they can to elect our Republican candidates. The palm cards I brought today are a little bit about our organization, and then you can go to our website, and you see we've got the red wave on there. We are going for it. We hope to get these out across the nation to promote who we are and what we do. There are thousands of women who are like-minded, just like us, that can become part of this organization if they only knew that we existed. The Republican Women's Clubs are a great place for women to build leadership and confidence and campaign schools. And the National Federation of Republican Women also provide a wealth of resources. So if you are a member, you have accessibility to our leadership and our training resources on our website and our YouTube channel. And we also have recorded our campaign schools and just updated our campaign manual to meet the ever-changing social media and digital world of campaigns. We have the resources women need to become leaders, but we must reach those women, and I need your help with that. The more women we reach who become confident and interested in running, the more women we're going to be able to put into office. Our organization was founded by many women who were suffragettes, and just as they fought for the vote, many after them would step up to run. The NFRW supports Republicans, but we are first and foremost an organization of women for women. Our mission is to empower Republican women to serve in the political arena, providing training, confidence, and courage to run for office. From the very beginning of our organization, we provided campaign schools and leadership training. Here's some of the thoughts to consider if you want to run or you want to encourage another woman to run. Make sure you have the support system of friends and family. And if you're not a Republican, if you're a woman, a Republican woman, join a Republican Women's Club and get that support as well. Do you have a reason for running? Do what you need to be successful. Yes, you will need to ask for money. I see some seasoned elected officials over here, and they know. Years ago, a young man decided he was interested in politics. He was a good friend of my son's, and they'd grown up together. He started out by volunteering for campaigns, where he learned some valuable lessons. He adopted me as his campaign mom. He did what he needed to do. He joined the Toastmasters to become a stronger speaker. He participated in an intense campaign school. He got more involved in his community and increased his connections. And when he campaigned, he gave it his full attention, putting aside his construction business during the campaign. Sometimes that's a very hard thing to do, but if you're going to take the step, you've got to step in all the way. He won. So whatever you need to do to improve, do it. Know that the duration of the campaign, you will need to go strong for many hours. It's very, very difficult. Getting the necessary training and picking a dedicated campaign team is also important, and you can find that in the Republican Women. And it's also important to increase your connections. I ran for County Charter Review in 2015 in my local community, and I surprised our local mayor by receiving the most votes and more votes for him, and he was just scratching his head because he was the pastor, the piano teacher, and on the board of the pregnancy center. We're still good friends, but he was just so shocked and surprised because he thought for sure he would have a bigger network than me and get more votes. Well, I had developed my own network of potential voters over the years. And it was by being involved in my local political party and in the community and in my Republican Women. That was probably my most valuable asset. Not only the connections I made, but the volunteers I was able to call on and the experience in running a campaign. And maybe it was those pink signs with the black writing. I don't know. I never would be a pink person. But when I went to my friend that was a printer, he said, "You gotta do this." No, it was the networking. Women are in a prime position today to run, and you really need to consider running for office if it's for you. We need women on our city boards, our city councils, our school boards, and all the way to the halls of Congress and the U.S. Senate. It takes the will and the plan, and it's vital that Republican women become more involved to counter the wild, crazy women running on the other side. It is time to step up and run. So remember, when you talk to Republican women, or when you talk to yourself in the mirror, number one, women bring a unique perspective. Number two, statistically, we are poised to win as women. Number three, women should run because they are passionate and they bring a unique perspective. Number four, women mama bears should run. Number five, the NFRW will support you. Thank you.